All right, so welcome everybody to Africa Fire Mission's weekly virtual trainings. We're glad you're here with us today. Today we are have a slight change in our original program. I'll let Jose explain about that here in a moment. But we're really glad everybody is here with us today and engaged in learning. Every week, as you're aware, we try to provide this training that's quality and free of charge to continue your education as firefighters. And we're just grateful for each one of you investing your time and energy in that. We are continuing to grow, and we'll continue in 2022 with these trainings. I think we have 2 weeks left for our 2021 series, and we'll be sending out the invitation soon for the 2022 series. We're really looking forward to some new possibilities in 2022, including a plan for certificates that we'll be able to offer beginning in 2022 for participants. So greatly appreciative of your continuing to join us every week. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Jose to let us know the plan for today and to offer some words of encouragement before we get started with training.
Thank you, Nancy, for an invitation and a great welcome. Welcome everybody to the class. Truly appreciate you. Just as Nancy says, we are really appreciative that you can increase your knowledge and also refresh your knowledge. So today, a slight change of plan. We were supposed to learn about smoke, detecting smoke in the fire ground, but unfortunately our trainer cannot be able to join us today. He had some challenges with his phone and his laptop, so we had to get a plan B in place. Today, I'm going to be your trainer. I'm going to be the person on the slides, and we're going to talk about evacuation drills. Yeah, but then before the evacuation drill presentation, which is there are some slides which you already gotten ready. Is just to encourage us, just like what you're doing right now. I must tell you, or I must even emphasize, that you're not wasting your time by you being here. You're actually refreshing your mind and getting prepared for any eventuality based on the different topics that we bring from time to time. And that tells you that you are adding more tools into your toolbox. Yeah, even as we go into these evacuation drills, you might actually know, I'll not be surprised, you know even the next slides of what I'm going to talk about. But refreshing your mind gets you to have all those things, all those skills on your fingertips. So sit back, relax. If you can be able to invite your friends in the firehouse or wherever you are, please do so as we move on. Thank you, Nancy, for bringing up the slides. So basically today, my main school of thought is for us to have a mindset of replication. What do I mean by that? Even as I go through these evacuation drills, what do you need to do, or what can you be able to see I'm presenting that you can repeat it in your community and in your school? As you know, currently in Kenya, we are having a challenge of schools burning. You know, every week a school is actually up in flames. Yeah, just on was it day before yesterday, there was another school that was reported that was burning. Yeah, so it is very important, you as the firefighter, you as the fire prevention officer at your workplace, you actually encourage the department to reach out and do these drills or pass this message across, either in schools or at home. So I might be talking about evacuation drills in the home mostly, but then also we need to look at how do we replicate this for either in the marketplace or even in the schools. Next slide, Nancy, please. So this is me. I was in a market center that is in the Kiambu County. As you, I'm a volunteer at the Kiambu Fire Brigade. And over here, we went with my firefighter friends to reach out to the marketplace. Yeah, and it was early this year. And the most important thing why I brought this photo up is for you to observe and ask yourself, what can you see? From what you can see here, I can see a firefighter. Yeah, I can see a firefighter. And I just want you to unmute and tell me, what else can you see when you look at this photo? Just unmute and then say a word or two. What can you see? Peter, what can you see, brother?
I can see different people cooperating or listening to what you are saying. Different people cooperating to what you are saying.
Correct. What else can you see? Another person? All answers are correct. Yes, Francis. Yes, Francis. Go ahead, sir.
This is the photo displays the hunger for people willing to learn what firefighters do.
Correct. Thank you so much for that. You can unmute. What else can you see? One last person before I go on. Okay. I can see this firefighter having PPEs on, from the helmet to the hood and everything else. And also there's a tunic. And of course, I believe going all down. Well, for as much as this looks very presentable and all, I must say it is not a must. When you're going to do a presentation, you have all your PPEs in place. Why? Because as you know, we might maybe have little less PPEs in the firehouse, right? But there are some other essential things that you might need to have. Things like the microphone. You see that microphone? That's to help me not, to help the firefighter not break his voice, you know? So this microphone gets to amplify your voice, and it helps to make the life easy, okay? So it is very important as you start thinking of reaching out either to your school or your community, at least have the basics, all right? So in this place, instead of a full PPE, you might have your station's uniform, yeah? Maybe your nice polo shirt or your good station blue uniform or whatever color it is, okay? So this is not a must for you to actually have this. So next slide, please. So today my objective is to get us to understand why fires happen in our homes and are dangerous and how you can prevent them. Of course, you as a firefighter get to know this, okay? But my main aim is for you to be able to have a picture of what message you can actually get to pass across. What is the objective of your drill, okay? So your objective might be, maybe you're in a school that is near a bush fireplace. So your objective might be how to actually control bushfires so that they don't get to come and ravish our homes, You know, maybe you have the iron sheet homes or the manyatas, like in Kenya, sometimes you have manyatas. Yeah. So your objective might be different. Yeah. Depending, they are unique in every community. So first of all, before you go to your community, dear firefighters, get to understand what the problem is. Once you can be able to identify the problem, it will be very easy for you to break down the message to the people, and the people can be able to understand. So if you just try and remember the photo that I showed you earlier on, that only went to preach about, talk about gas fires, the propane gas fires. So we went over there with the actual propane gas cylinder, one that is okay. And also we were fortunate enough to have one that has already blown up. So people were really wanting to understand how to stop these kind of fires. So you have to have an objective, all right? So next slide, please. It is also very important, even as you go and start your conversations, yeah, you be as realistic as possible. And it is very important, yeah, that you get to even start off by telling them, hey, this is who I am, and this is where we are, yeah, and hey, this is actually our number. So over here, I've actually taken the Nairobi Fire Brigade number. You can have it uniquely to your community. Most of the times in the African setup, if you notice, most of our cars in our fire brigade, our cars in our stations, they're all grilled up. Yeah, why? People stone us. Yeah, why do they stone us? That's a conversation by itself. They say that we have come late. So the conversation you might need to start with this community. Late. When you call us late, we assume that the fire has just started. Yeah. So you need to encourage them to call first, and then if possible, they can continue fighting the fire. Yeah. But then at least call first the fire brigade. We show up, and then nobody gets angry and nobody gets to stone us. Yeah. So don't give them the fire brigade of Nairobi if you're in South Africa. If you're in Taita Taveta, please don't do that. Make sure that you give them the fire brigade number of your community. Sawa. Next slide, please. So in this particular case, I just picked up a case scenario of how you can prevent fires in your home. Why did I pick up that topic? Because you make sure that you have read extensively about the topic you are going to present. Okay? Don't start a topic that you cannot be able to defend. All right? Don't go and start talking about for example, geothermal fires, all right? And you have zero knowledge about geothermal electricity or geothermal, anything about geothermal, yeah? Take a topic that you're confident about, and if you don't know anything about that topic, it is okay to have an expert talk on your behalf, all right? You don't have to be the champion of you bringing a topic that you don't know about. So in this particular case, you can go, how can you prevent fires in your home? Yeah. And this is actually a darling topic to talk about as firefighters, because most of the time we deal with fires in the home. We deal with fires in the home, and we deal with structural fires. Yeah, it's in my bag. Sorry, there was a small distraction. So You can prevent fires by making choices in your home, in how your home is set up and the things you do. Yeah. So this one I brought it up by actually you can advise the people you do who are dwelling in the home not to have so much clutter. You know, the hoarders. You know, the people who hoard stuff. You've been given a gift by your great grandfather, and that stool is still in next to the door. Yeah, you've been given this nice painting. Okay, a painting is different, but something that is just bulky, and you're just keeping it for you to remember. Learn to get rid of things. All right. Next slide, please. So in the home, right now, how to prevent fires in the home. You need to tell now the people, this is now going deep into the topic, all right? The topic that you've chosen. And some of the points you can go like is identify the hazards. Currently, we have sanitizers, yeah? Sanitizers near the cooking area, cooking pot handles facing outward, yeah? So, like for example, you can talk to them about cooking pots, you know, that have handles. Advise them on how they should put them as they cook, all right? And so many other things, yeah? You can advise the homestead, excuse me, check wiring for exposed wires. Having too many appliances for a number of plugs can be a danger, yes, can be a danger to you, yeah? I mean to the dwellers that live there, yeah? You can tell them, hey, don't leave candles or open flames unattended, yeah? I don't know if it is just my place only. Right now, there's a lot of blackouts happening, and people are buying a lot of candles, yeah? So tell them how to use the candles. I know they know, but make sure that they hear it from an expert. Who's the expert? You are the expert. You, the firefighter who has extensively researched of what causes fires, all right? Open flames unattended, yeah? It is getting, sometimes it can get too cold, you know? Maybe you have your jiko there. So when you have your jiko, that charcoal stove, it needs to be attended, yeah? Talk to the smokers. You can mention, hey, don't smoke in bed. If you have to smoke, get out and smoke outside, all right? And then you can even tell them, hey, it is important even during your Nyumba Kumi barazas, those are 10 cluster meetings that neighbors usually have. You can mention for 2 minutes what fire prevention is all about, all right? Next slide, please. So what I'm talking about is actually exit drills in the home. It's an acronym EDITH, and I know you know as firefighters. And these are the things now you need now to break them down to an understandable way, just like what I'm doing, yeah? So how would you get to safety in case of a fire, yeah? And you break it down, tell them, make sure exits are safe to use, yeah? So how are the exits safe? Let the dwellers in the house get to remove stuff that block the door. And sometimes you might find, most of the houses that I visit, you find the seat is blocking the door and it is opening halfway, yeah? How do you advise the homestead to arrange their homes differently, yeah? And also, for example, if there is, they have to get out, how do they get to fill the door, yeah? And do they have an alternative route, or it is just one door, yeah? You can advise them, hey, these window panes that are really grilled up, Yeah, is it possible for you to have them opened up a little? You know, have a ladder that can be able to roll down. All right. Do you have an emergency spiral ladder? You know, tell the dwellers, leave immediately. All right, leave immediately for you to be okay. And this, for you as a firefighter, even as I'm talking, it's really general, but to them, it is really like they need to be repeated. Maybe in their companies, in their organizations, they've been talked to about, but not, you need to constantly remind them. And as they leave immediately, they need to sound an alarm, going knocking in other doors in their apartments. Hey, there's fire. Hey, there's fire, fire. Everybody get low and out, you know? And you actually show them. You remember the photo that I showed you earlier on? Because you have a team of firefighters, don't do everything alone. Let these other firefighters get to help you as you explain. Can they be able to help you do it? And this is also in the school setup. For example, as they exit out from the dormitories, how do they get out? Do they get up when it's standing, or do they get out when they are crawling? And you can do it practically, yes, either with the student leaders first, and then later on with the whole school from dorm to dorm. Yeah, it might take about 2 weekends, but it can be slowly done. So know your escape routes. You can even explain to this school dwellers, do they know where to escape? Yeah. Do they know where, after they escape, where do they meet? Why is it important? Where do they meet? You see, when they get to know where they meet, it is easier for either the dorm captain or the teacher on duty to actually get to do a head count. The head count can tell us if X, Y, and Z is not here. And if they are not here, are they absent? And if they are not absent, where are they? I can read. Somebody cannot hear me, sir. Can somebody else confirm if they can hear me?
We can hear you, Jose.
Okay,
yeah.
Super. Thank you very much. So make sure everyone is accounted for, and that is the reason for the meeting place. And have a system. Not that Jose cannot be accounted for. Everybody goes frantic. Yeah. So you need to know, where do I report? I mean, whom do I report to that Jose cannot be accounted for, so that it can be a little bit easier what to do. All right. Next slide, please. So why is it important to practice how to get out safely in your home or in your school? It is as simple as telling the people, telling the home dwellers or the school students that practicing from a drill will help you know what to do in an actual fire. I've noticed sometimes when we're doing a drill, the drills that I've done, people really find it fun, they laugh and all that stuff. Yeah. But then it is much better for those people who've practiced than those people who've not practiced. One firefighter was telling me that there was one time they did a drill this week, and 2 days later, there was an actual fire, and there was no life lost, and the people who are living there were actually saved because they did what you, the firefighter, taught them. So for me, today is just an encouragement, is a call for action, that from next year, because the year is already ended now, Or even you can start even in December by visiting school, and before they close, can I have a fire talk? The whole school can come to the to the assembly place, and you can talk to them and encourage them to have drills for next year. All right? And the importance of you having to teach them to save lives. Practicing an exit drill in the home could save your life if a fire ever breaks out. Yeah? Over here, we're trying to save life and property. But because the property is already in flames, hey, let's protect the life. Next slide, please. So what should you do in a real fire? You should sound the alarm. How do you sound the alarm? You as a firefighter, I know you know. All right? But what I'm just trying to, it's a picture I'm trying to paint. Yeah? And this is just an objective. It might be even not only, it can be exit drills, for example, when they get to in semi-arid places where snakes get into their homes. So how do they exit their homes when they see a snake? All right, so this is just an example. Yeah, so in this particular case is that you sound the alarm by yelling fire, fire, fire. All right, if the fire is small and you know how to do it, and this calls for you, the firefighter, your fire department, to even get to train the teachers, the staff, and some students who are much older and are much more confident on how to use the fire extinguisher. So over here, if the fire is small, try to extinguish the fire safely. Safely by doing what? Using the right fire extinguisher. And then get out and get to safety. Why is safety place? The fire assembly point, so that your head can be counted. Yeah. And as you get out, and this is you, the firefighter, you already know this, you tell them, hey, close the doors behind you. By closing the doors behind you, you actually get to slow down the effects of fire. All right. You remember the fire triangle? You can actually get to explain to them what the fire triangle actually gets to mean. All right. So, and as they get to exit and they are at the fire assembly point, tell them, call the fire brigade number, the number that I gave you, all right? And you sound the alarm to the neighbors so that they can be safe with you. Next slide, please. You remember me telling you that you need to, don't just assume that you as a firefighter know how to use the fire extinguisher. Everybody knows how to. No. You get to explain. And if you have the budget from your firehouse, and this is the right time for you to actually start to lobby for these items. Lobby for a fire extinguisher that is full, so that you can have a tool to go and teach people to use a fire extinguisher. So I brought this picture up for you so that it can refresh to you. For you, it's simple. Pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. But then to the recipients, the students and all, take them slowly. You remember when you're in fire school and you're being taught about how to use a fire extinguisher? Now it is your turn to replicate and teach them how to do it. All right. I believe I've come to the end of my slides. I'm not so sure there are more slides. I believe they're over. Yes, they're over. So thank you very much for this time that you've managed to come through. And this is just to paint a picture for you that you get to be encouraged to replicate this concept of teaching fire prevention either to your community or a school near you. All right. Right now, I'm emphasizing schools because we are really going through a lot, you know. So get your gears on, get your fire uniform on, not necessarily the PPE, but just your station clothes, and get out there. You know, use the tools that we have at AFM. They are free tools for fire assessment that you can, for specifically for schools. You can do that fire assessment, get to finish the document. The document will be sent on your email, and you can present that document to the school. Sawa. Thank you very much, and back to you, Madam Nancy.
Hey, I want to just open up for any questions or comments that you might have about teaching some of this in your community, your experiences that you've had, or any observations. Wanted to, while people are thinking about some of their questions, I wanted to just share with you the Children's Fire Safety School Program. And specifically, I think, as Jose said, one of the things that we want to be aware of now is helping schools think about evacuation drills, and both in the school itself, but also in the boarding schools and the dormitories. And our curriculum has that built into it. So this is built to be flexible. You can pick and choose what you teach out of it. But I wanted to show you specifically here, just quickly, you can still see that? Jose, is that still on screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to just share specifically the safety lessons for teachers and staff, first of all. So one of the things when you go into a school, it's important that some of the teachers and staff, if you're going to be sharing with the children, that they have a basic understanding of what you're going to share. So this is designed to quickly go through some of the information that you'd also be going through the students with the staff. And this is some ways to do that. And just some discussions that you can have about each topic. And then this is a pretty long document, so I want to go down a little bit further. This is all available to you on our website, so don't worry about having to like take notes off of this or anything. This particular thing has 3 main topics to focus on that you could do over a period of time, but you can also make this a little more brief. What I want to find, just taking me a minute to scroll through here. But this gives you pretty much every word you might need, including just some other resources that you could use. That image that Jose mentioned is here. More on fire extinguisher training is here. This is what I wanted to specifically show you. This is a way to teach schools how to do evacuation drills for themselves. I think one of the things that we can get stuck on sometimes is that we have to be there to do the evacuation drills. You need to be there to teach how to do fire evacuation drills, but you may not need to be there when evacuation drills take place as a firefighter. So think about teaching your schools how to do these from the very beginning. And this lesson helps walk through a school developing their own procedures for evacuation drills. So thinking about, have they done it before? How would they sound the alarm? In some schools that might be a bell, in other schools that might be yelling fire, fire, fire. Some schools they might have an electronic system throughout the whole school. What does that look like? Where are the exits? Are they working properly? Are the exit doors facing the right direction? Do they have somebody that can unlock the door if the door is locked for security purposes? What are those barriers that could become a problem? And then talking through evacuation procedure for a drill itself, and then helping the teachers to plan, walk through the school with the leadership, help them think about that, how they would conduct the drill, how they're going to sound that alarm, determine a time, conduct the drill, and then debrief what happened for the drill. So when the teachers come up with a plan, the first time they'll need to teach the students how to do an evacuation drill so it doesn't become pure chaos. You might even encourage them to do that classroom by classroom. So these are all things that you can utilize in order to help you teach schools how to do evacuation drills for themselves. There's also in our resources, you're going to see a assessment that you can do with the schools as they're planning for that maybe. But lots of other resources here. So take some time and go through these resources so you can familiarize yourself with them. Any thoughts or questions or things that you've done with maybe school evacuation drills? Okay, so again, I put that link in the chat. Really want to encourage you to get out there. And when you do, record those experiences and send us information about what you did. There's a place right on the same website, the Fire Safety Training Curriculum page, for you to record those experiences that you've had. So we'd love to know when you're out there in the community doing it. And at the end of the year, if you send us that information, we'll send you data back that kind of records what you've done, so you can share that in your communities. Okay, seeing no other questions, at this point we're going to go ahead and wrap up today's training. Thank you everyone for attending this week and every week that you're able to come. These trainings are recorded and will be placed on our YouTube channel and also listed on our website for you to reference and come back to when you need it. The slides and all of that will also be provided for you. Please consider continuing and inviting others to attend in the future. We always love it to see even 10 faces in one video screen is great, because that means that you're sharing the knowledge with others as well. So we look forward to continuing to work with you and get to know you. And I'm going to pass it back to Jose to wrap up for today.
Thank you so much, Nancy, for the tag team. Truly appreciate